What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. I hope y'all are doing well. Today's video is going to be on Victor Wemanyama, aka Wemby. And I know what some of you may be thinking. Caleb, you generally do guys that are a little bit out of the spotlight. It's not that I do unknown players, but generally it's guys that aren't like superstars or in the main focus of the media. And Wemby very much is. He's a generational prospect. That word gets thrown around, but in Wemby's case, it's very much true. And he was in the spotlight all year last year, deservedly so, after an unbelievable rookie season. But I'm putting a little bit of a twist on the Wemby coverage. I want to talk about what I feel like is his most underrated trait, which if you can't tell by the clip so far, is his passing / playmaking. Wemby, for the shot blocking, the scoring, all the alien shit that he does, is a really damn good passer. And I feel like that just kind of gets swept under the rug a lot of times when we talk about Wemby because of all the other stuff. And I get it. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to take a look at his season, show you some of the best passes that he put on tape this year, and shed some light on a trait that I feel like just does not get enough love from the national media. All right, now before we get into the clips, we got to take a look at some stats. All these stats come from Basketball Index. They are not my own. And I will say, there's always that debate, stats versus eye test. I'm in the middle, man. If it's just stats, there's no flavor, there's no feel. How can you know what a player does by just looking at numbers, right? But at the same time, if you are just watching a player and you have no stats to back up what they do and their impact, you're bound to mediocrity in terms of your evaluation process. Now, in terms of this, I'm not going to sit here and explain every category. At the end of the day, the numbers are great. He has an A-. He's in the 82nd percentile in playmaking talent as a 7'4" rookie center. That is insane. Amazing passing versatility. He does it from all over the floor. If you do have a question in terms of what does any one of these individual stats mean, leave a comment. I got you. I'll give you the definition from B-Ball Index. But end of the day, long story short, the numbers are absurd, right? And there are times where I'll watch a guy and I'm like, he's good at this. And then I check Basketball Index and I'm like, oh, it doesn't quite necessarily bear out. I was nervous almost because I was like, I'm trying to do a video on Wemby. I probably would have done it regardless. And I check out, the numbers are beautiful. So, all right, we've talked enough. We've looked at the stats enough. Let's get into some of these clips. All right, so we're going to separate these clips into different pass types, and we're going to start with him hitting cutters. Now, normally it's him just posting up and hitting cutters out of that, but it can also be on a play like this where he has it top of the key, picks up his dribble or surveys the floor and finds a cutter. And Wemby is just really, really proficient as a passer out of these situations, and a couple things play into account. One, he draws a ton of attention, and so when you cut while people are paying attention to the ball, guys are going to be open, but the processing speed at his age is pretty rare. Two, for his size, a lot of guys, even like a guy like Nikola Jokic, great passers over the top, but he is so long that he's able to find angles like this pass right there that it's like, dude, I don't really understand that window. I have no idea how you made that pass, but respect. But take this play, for example. This is when he makes this pass. Sohan is open, but a bounce pass is not going to get there. A chest pass isn't going to get there. Really, any sort of pass that gets there, DeLon is going to be able to get his hands into the picture. But watch where Wemby puts it. Up top where only Sohan can get it. That's an angle that's really only available to Wemby. All right, now we're going to go post up Aaron Gordon. Jamal kind of stunting. Look at this lefty dot. Like, lefty dot, he makes it look easy, but the angle, the window, it is so small. We'll pause it here just to show you. With the offhand, with a live dribble, that is such a difficult pass, and he puts it in the one spot where Mamu can catch and go up with rhythm. Similar play here, out in transition, catches a little off balance immediately. Two Grizzlies to him. He's tall. He could go over the top, but instead, look, his hands are... He's able to release that pass down at his knees in a spot where the others just can't get to it. You just see, when he sees that much attention, it's dangerous because he's going to find his guys. Here's another one going to catch a little bit off balance here, not even facing the basket. This is when he releases the pass. Does it look like Zach Collins is open? No. He may cut, but then it's really, really hard to find an angle after he cuts, but he makes that pass before at that point and puts it in the one spot where Zach Collins can go up and get it. And again, because of his height, very few people can make that pass. Here's another one just to showcase the processing. He's going to post up, get the ball in, eventually draw two, and then immediately drops it off. The processing there is the most important part. You know he's going to draw two. You know he's going to draw attention. But what are you going to do out of that? Are you able to make the reads quick enough? If he doesn't make that pass right there, Shetty just straight up does not get that layup. Here's another play to showcase the processing. Devin Vassell is going to try and get him the ball. Book's doing everything he can. Got another Suns defender coming over. First off, absurd that he can even get to this pass when his lower half's been taken out. But he's not even looking at Jeremy Sohan. That is just a feel of, hey, I know where he is. I can't fully control this ball. Let me tap it to my guy. And we've got a layup. All right, here's another one in Houston, posting up on Alperen Şengün. Ball comes into him, tap pass to Vassell right away, and we've got a layup. Nothing extra, doesn't feel the need to catch and post and back down. He knows he's got a layup right here. The ball's in his hand for a half a second. His teammate's got an open look. Here's another dime. Champagne's going to dump it into him. He sees Kyle Anderson's close out into the stands. Whoop! Behind the back to Champagne for the easy dunk. Again, this is not a 10-year NBA vet who's seen coverages over and over and over doing this. This is a 20-year-old rookie able to read the floor like this. All right, same vibes. We're out in Detroit. Sohan's going to miss this three. Trey battles for the board. Wemby catches it. Whoop! Behind the back. Gets it to Sohan for the lay. And yes, that is flashy, but it's also functional because if he just catches and faces up, the spacing's not there, and he's probably not going to be able to get it to him the same way he does here with a downhill straight line drive. And I hope this illustrates the point that I'm trying to make, in that Wemby is such a problem when he faces up one-on-one and can see the floor. Because obviously he can score, but when he draws that extra attention, he's such a quick processor, makes the right reads, and then on top of that, because of his length and height, has so many different angles in which he can find to get the ball to where it needs to be. He is a problem, and then there was a million clips that I could have put in here that are, quote, boring, but he's just making the right read and play. Now let's get into some of the downhill, off the dribble stuff, because this is where it really starts to get absurd. Wemby, towards the end of the year, got more freedom to have the ball in his hands and make plays for other. They ran a lot of inverted pick and rolls like right here that are just confusing for the defense, create mismatches, and he's 7'4". It makes no sense the control that he has over the basketball. Like a play like this, downhill, slips it in there. There is no space. Up here, catch this pass. I don't know if he knows Tyus Jones is there, but a 7'4" dude should not be able to save that ball. Here's another inverted pick and roll where Trey Jones is going to set the screen. And what that does is the big who's guarding Wemby is not quick enough to get back. And that's someone who's very mobile in Kevin Durant. And it just creates all these matchup problems. Look, legit pick and rolls, top of the key to get his guys looks. But let's take a look at some of these in a little bit more detail. Like, this is just ridiculous. He's running off a pin down, jabbing, blowing by Maxey. Live dribble, one hand, bounce pass by Paul Reed in the perfect spot. Like, are you kidding me? This is a guard in a 7'4" body. That does not make any sense. All right, buckle in, boys. We're out in Utah. Pick and roll. Champagnie slips the screen. Taylor Hendricks is on the ball right here. Taylor Hendricks is 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. Wemby, with a live dribble going right, kind of floating out, is with one hand going to get this over the top of Hendricks, over the top of Sexton, back down perfectly lofted to Champagnie before Keontae, the low man, can help. That is ridiculous. That may seem easy, but there is no way with a live dribble that a 7'4" rookie should be able to make that pass over the top. Stop it. All right, let's keep it rolling. Inverted pick and roll with Trey Jones. Don't like the first one. Let's re-screen. Lefty right cross. Draws Fred VanVleet. Drop off to Trey Jones. Stop it. It is one thing to see that Trey Jones is available, right? But it's a completely different thing to, at 7'4", with a live dribble, with a guard stopping in front of you, for you to be able to drop that off in a tight window in a perfect spot for Trey Jones. That's a point guard, but he's 7'4" and 20 years old. Keep the tape rolling. We've got AD. Size him up. No look. Drop off to Trey Jones. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't know what to say at this point. That's Keep him coming. Here we go again. Inverted pick and roll. Get the small on him. Kind of an awkward space. And then with a live dribble, left hand, you see this is where the length comes into play, right? Like this is kind of a weird place on the court to be. There's not really a window there. Left hand, dot in between the space to Tre Jones. Layup. Back in LA, again, look at the length. We'll pause it here. The window is so tight, but because his arms are so long, he's able to get the ball to places that you just shouldn't be able to get it to. Layup. Here we go again in Toronto. Watch this. He's going to reach around with his left hand around a 7-footer and find an angle that doesn't exist to any other human in this planet. And yes, that is lazy defense from RJ Barrett, but I don't even blame him. How is he supposed to know that Wemby is supposed to literally full on reach around his 7-footer and find Tre Jones from that angle? Ridiculous. Here's another one, and I'm just going to pause it when he releases this pass. It's not really open. Rudy's there, but even if he gets it past Rudy, I think Troy Brown is right there. Naz Reid is there as well. And for anyone else, it's a bad pass because it's like there's no room. But because you see the extension from Wemby, because where he can cover 2 feet from where he's standing, the ball gets released from a different place, and he can just get it into a spot that shouldn't be possible to get it to. Last one, shot clock running out. Wemby's got the ball in his hands. He's getting 2 put on him from 35 feet out, right? That's just to show you can't put 2 on. This is a play that normally point guards get put in. 2 on him, gets the ball out immediately, tight pocket pass, layup. All right, the last thing we got to get to is the open floor transition aspect of Wemby's passing, and it comes in 2 different forms. It comes in legitimately going coast to coast and making plays for teammates, but it also comes in this form too, where he'll get the rebound and just make absurd outlet passes like Kevin Love, where the processing comes right back into play, where he's like, I got the board, I know where my teammate is, let me get it to him. Or he can run the floor like this, grab and go, get downhill. Doesn't really make sense, again, for a 7'4" rookie to be able to do this. But Wemby, he just breaks all the rules. So like right here, any normal 7'4" guy is just giving it to Shetty Osman right there. Instead, Wemby takes a couple dribbles, looks up, and finds Malachi Branham. And again, just the control of the ball at his size and height. Right here, live dribble, perfect oop for Sandro to go get. And I get it, right? It seems like alley-oops are easier throwing to freak athletes and all that, but when you slow it down, the timing of it is so important. This is when he releases the pass. Sandro is barely inside the 3-point line. There's multiple defenders in the area, and he floats it in the perfect spot from a live dribble. Here's another one where he just makes it look easy, fighting on the glass, tips it to himself, and any other 7'4" dude, where's my point guard? Where's my point guard? Wemby just goes coast to coast, finds Sohan. Here's another one. I want you to notice how fast from the point he gets the rebound to one hand getting it back out to Tre Jones in the perfect spot for him to go run under it. Watch how absurd this one is. Cuts off Vooch's path, avoids DeMar, draws Patrick Williams behind the back to Soham. All 5 Bulls defenders at a certain point were within about a foot or 2 of him. It's absolutely absurd. It just doesn't make any sense. It breaks my brain. Now get this one. So he's going to affect the Duren shot, force him to miss, get the rebound, and this is guard-like stuff. He notices Duren's behind him, so he cuts his path off back. Now as a result, Bojan has to step up and take Wemby, and as a result of that, he gets Sohan a layup. And we didn't even talk about how he Euro'd smoothly around Bojan Bogdanovic, but this is really the point of the video, is that yes, Wemby is generational because he's 7'4" and supremely skilled in ways that don't make sense, but he also has the mind and the processing, and that it's showcased the most in passing, but that processing, that IQ is what really takes him to the next level, because now he has this, but he's able to combine that with the tools, and it makes for absolute, like, what? His hand was, you know what I mean? Like, watch this. We're just running a couple miscellaneous clips. What is that? No look. I don't even know what he did with the basketball there. He also has this, because he's so tall, he has this ability to get into his shot, and guys have to respect it. And then he just leverages that for easy buckets. Look, that looks like a normal jumper, drop off to Tre Jones. But this is the greatness of Wemby. You guys know about the scoring. You guys know about the shot blocking. You know about the rebounding. You know about the size. You know about the skill. But I think as a result of that, the IQ, the passing ability kind of just gets swept under the rug because the highlights pop in terms of all the ridiculous things he does. And so that's why I wanted to make a video on this. I'm sure the Spurs fans know, like, they saw it all year. But for the national media, for people that maybe didn't get to watch Wemby on a day-to-day basis, the passing is truly incredible, and it just completes the whole package. It's scary how good he is already. Again, came in as a generational prospect, but to be this far along, it's truly special. Anyways, I love and appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I appreciate we finally hit 1K. I appreciate y'all. We're just getting started. I'll see y'all next video.